From the refugee camps of war-torn Georgia to the apex of mixed martial arts, one man's journey was written in violence and sealed in destiny. El Matador, the undefeated. This is a man who speaks in absolutes
The walk-off KO!
and delivers in devastation.
Chopped him down like a tree. This man is truly frightening.
The number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Ilia Topuria has arrived.
17 fights,
Huge combination for the Spaniard.
17 victories,
Ilia Topuria has knocked Ryan Hall out cold.
0 defeats.
He really believes that he can whip
He
anybody.
represents the new generation of mixed martial arts.
Huge combination.
A generation that knows no limits,
Still undefeated.
accepts no excuses,
And that guy is an absolute animal.
and leaves nothing to chance.
Unbelievable knockout.
This is El Matador, the untold story of Ilia Topuria. The perfect right hand. You see it coming in slow motion. Alexander Volkanovski, the pound-for-pound king, the unbeatable champion, drops like he's been shot, unconscious before he hits the canvas. A new era begins. But this story doesn't start in that arena in Anaheim. It starts 3 decades earlier, in a place most people can't even pronounce, during one of Europe's most brutal ethnic conflicts. This is the story of a refugee child who became the most dangerous man on the planet. A kid who spoke 3 languages by the time he was 15 because his family kept running from war. A fighter who'd predict the impossible and then make it happen. From the ashes of Abkhazia to the bright lights of the UFC, from displacement to double champion. This is the untold story of Ilia Topuria. Some fighters are born to fight. Others, they're forged by the world's cruelest lessons. Born January 21st, 1997 in Halle, Germany. Most kids get birth certificates. Ilia Topuria got a refugee stamp. His parents weren't tourists visiting Germany. They were survivors. Georgian refugees who'd fled one of the most horrific ethnic cleansings in modern European history. The Abkhazia conflict, a war most people have never heard of, but one that would shape the mindset of a future champion. Picture this. It's the early 1990s. The Soviet Union is collapsing, and in the tiny Georgian region of Abkhazia, ancient ethnic tensions are exploding into genocide. 250,000 people, mostly ethnic Georgians like Ilia's parents, are being systematically murdered or driven from their homes. The Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe would later officially recognize it as ethnic cleansing. Human Rights Watch documented mass executions, torture, and what they called a deliberate campaign to eliminate the Georgian population. Bodies found with signs of extensive torture. Civilians killed without regard for age or sex. Ilia's parents made the impossible choice that no parent should ever have to make. Leave everything behind, their home, their family, their entire identity, or risk being murdered for their ethnicity. They chose life. They chose Germany. They chose survival. So baby Ilia entered the world not as a Georgian, not as a future Spanish citizen, but as a refugee. A child whose very existence was proof that his family had survived something unthinkable. But here's the thing about the Topuria family. They were survivors, not settlers. When Ilia turned 7, they made another impossible decision. They were going back to Georgia. Georgia in the early 2000s wasn't exactly a safe haven. This was a country still bleeding from civil wars, still haunted by the ghosts of ethnic conflict. But it was home. And 7-year-old Ilia was about to learn his first lesson in fighting. Not the kind of fighting that happens in octagons. The kind that happens on wrestling mats in local schools, where coaches teach kids that strength isn't just about muscle. It's about never giving up when the world is trying to break you. Greco-Roman wrestling, the sport of ancient warriors now being taught to refugee children in a country still learning how to heal itself. Ilia took to it like he'd been born for it, which maybe he had been. But just when the family was starting to find stability, just when Georgia was starting to feel like home, the world decided to test them again.
Security team to discuss the situation in Georgia. I am deeply concerned by reports that Russian troops have moved beyond the zone of conflict, attacked the Georgian town of Gori, and are threatening the Georgia's capital of Tbilisi. There's evidence that Russian forces may soon begin bombing the civilian airport in the capital city. These reports are accurate.
August 2008, the Russo-Georgian War. 5 days that shattered any illusion of safety the Topuria family might have built. Russian tanks rolling across Georgian borders. Bombs falling on Georgian soil. Another war, another displacement, another reminder that for people like them, peace was always temporary. Ilia was 11 years old when his parents made the third impossible decision of his young life. They were leaving Georgia, this time for Spain. This time they promised forever.
But wait, so when you were born in Germany though, right?
Yeah. I born in Germany. I lived there for 7 years. And then we moved to Georgia, and since 7 to 15, I was living there. You know, we were living in Georgia, and on that time in Georgia, there was a little bit of bad situation, you know, and my parents decided to move to Spain. And I think that's why. And I was a kid, you know, I didn't have any decisions.
Sure.
Imagine being 15 years old and having lived in 3 different countries, spoken 3 different languages, and survived 2 different wars. Most teenagers are worried about acne and homework. Ilia Topuria was worried about whether this new country would become another place his family would have to flee. Alicante, Spain. Mediterranean coastline, tourist beaches, and completely different from the mountains of Georgia or the industrial cities of Germany. For most refugee families, this would be just another stop in a lifelong journey of displacement. But for the Topurias, Spain became something different. Spain became home.
And for you, by the way, I'm just curious about this. When you moved to Spain, did you know to speak Spanish?
No.
Wow.
I didn't know even how to say hello, you know.
That's tough. As a teenager, that's really tough.
Yeah, it was very tough, you know. It was very tough.
How were those early days?
You know, it was tough, you know, because you try to communicate with the people and you can't, but that's one of the reasons that helps you to learn faster, you know.
I understand your father was the one that introduced you to martial arts, right? When you were a little kid, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, with 4 years, he introduced me in judo. Then when we moved to Georgia, we started training with Greco-Roman wrestling. And finally, when we moved to Spain, we started with BJJ and MMA with all the stuff.
He walked into the Climate Club gym in Alicante carrying all that history on his shoulders. The refugee stamps in his passport, the trauma of displacement, the strength that comes from surviving things that would break most people. And he discovered mixed martial arts. Picture that first day. This skinny Georgian German Spanish kid who'd been wrestling since he was 7, who spoke 3 languages fluently, who'd survived ethnic cleansing and multiple wars, walking into a local MMA gym and asking if he could train. The coaches probably thought he was just another kid looking for a hobby. They had no idea they were looking at the future of the sport. Within months, Ilia wasn't just training at Climate Club, he was dominating. His Greco-Roman wrestling base was already elite level. His understanding of distance and timing was supernatural. But more than that, he had something you can't teach in any gym. He had the mentality of someone who'd already survived the worst things life could throw at him. Ilia Topuria's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu journey represents a pivotal chapter in his combat sports evolution. After moving to Alicante, Spain, Topuria began practicing mixed martial arts at the Climate Club gym, where he grew both as an athlete and as a person. Under the guidance of the Climate brothers, Jorge and Agustin, who are Argentinian coaches with deep Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expertise, Topuria developed his grappling foundation that would become instrumental to his fighting style.
So what about this Arnold Schwarzenegger tournament that you won? Arnold Fighter? What was that all about?
Yeah. It was when I was 17 years old. they did a competition called Arnold Fighters.
Wow.
You know, it was an MMA competition. And when I go to the competition, my fight was the first fight, you know, in the event. And before I start the fight, Arnold come to the cage, you know, and he watched just my fight.
Wow.
After my fight, he comes here to the United States to watch the Conor McGregor's fight against Chad Mendes, you know, because he was supposed to fight with Jose Aldo, and he watched his fight. And I always say, like, Arnold is watching the MMA because of me.
Wow.
I had a really great performance. I did a suplex, and this is why I'm all the time joking with my friends.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, of course. I have a picture. There is even a small documentary movie called El Día que Conocí a Arnold. Yeah.
What does that mean?
One day you will see me. Today I meet Arnold.
Oh, it's a movie about you meeting him.
Yeah. It's a movie about the whole competition.
Yeah.
And there is some moments how I meet him, how we did the picture and all this. I was a kid, you know, with the beard and with and yeah, you will see that movie will be famous one day.
By 2015, 18-year-old Ilia was ready to turn professional. His amateur record was perfect, but more importantly, his mindset was unbreakable. For the next few years, Ilia tore through Spanish regional promotions like a hurricane. His professional debut told you everything you needed to know about what was coming. April 4th, 2015. Valencia, Spain. Mixed fight events. Francisco Javier Asprilla probably thought he was getting an easy payday against some 18-year-old refugee kid. Instead, he got a preview of the future. Ilia submitted him with a triangle choke in the first round, and the Spanish MMA scene had officially been put on notice. What followed was dominance disguised as development. 4 straight submission wins on the Spanish regional scene. A mixed fight events championship belt. Both Ilia and his brother then made a decision that would shape the rest of their lives.
I left the school when I was like 15 years old.
Oh, what do you mean? You didn't go to school?
No.
What?
Because when I was 15 years old, I go with my brother to talk to my father, and we tell him like, hey, Dad, we don't want to go to school anymore, but we really want to train, and we're gonna go like all day, every day in the gym, and we're gonna train, because my dream was to get to fight in the UFC. And he told me like, if you're really gonna train all the time, and like you tell me, you have my approval.
So when you're 15, you're in probably 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that, and your dad was just like, all right, cool. You didn't go back to school after that? That was it for you?
Yeah.
Incredible. What a story. And you just went to the gym all day?
All day.
But Ilia was already thinking bigger than Spain. 2018 brought his first international test in Cage MMA Finland.
Gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner, Ilia Topuria.
Another submission, another statement.
Rakenteeltaan sellainen kaveri, että sieltä se vaan
löytyy. 5 sekuntia. Ladies and gentlemen, winner by guillotine choke, Ilia Topuria!
But it was also the year something historic happened. Ilia and his brother Alex became the first Georgians in history to earn black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then came the fight that should have made him a champion, but instead taught him his most valuable lesson. Ilia weighed in at 139.5 pounds. 4.5, Ilia used it as fuel.
You used to fight a bantamweight, and then you missed weight, right, with Cage Warriors?
Yeah. I try to fight in bantamweight. I make that mistake, but never again.
Never again.
2019 brought a new opportunity, Brave Combat Federation. The Middle Eastern promotion was becoming a launching pad for future UFC stars, and they wanted Ilia as their next big thing. September 7th, 2019. Bogota, Colombia. Brave CF 26. Luis Gomez thought he was getting a prospect on the rise. Instead, he got a buzzsaw.
Topuria looks like the much bigger man. Beautiful stinging jab. Oh, and he's catching him early. But Gomez throwing back. Just as we predicted, beat him into a firefight, and there's the takedown. Landing those crushing elbows. Using such intelligent top dominance.
And
it's the mounted triangle. Mounted triangle, elbow combination. And it's all over.
1 minute and 15 seconds into the first round, Ilia had him tapping to a submission. Performance of the night bonus. International recognition secured. But if the Luis Gomez fight was his introduction to the global stage, his next performance was his audition for the UFC. November 15th, 2019. Khalifa Sports City Arena, Bahrain. Brave CF 29. Stephen Goncalves was a dangerous striker with knockout power, exactly the kind of test that separates prospects from contenders. Ilia decided to show the world something they'd never seen from him before. Instead of hunting for a submission, he kept the fight standing. And then, with surgical precision, he threw a right hand that knocked Goncalves unconscious.
He needs to get his back off that cage. Oh, he gets caught!
It was Ilia's first professional knockout. His coming out party as a complete mixed martial artist. The viral finish that made UFC matchmakers pick up their phones and start making calls. By the end of 2019, Ilia's record was perfect. 8-0, 7 submissions, 1 knockout, and a reputation that was spreading far beyond European MMA circles. But he wasn't satisfied with being the best fighter in Spain. He wanted to test himself against the best fighters in the world, which meant one destination, the UFC. When the call came in 2020, Ilia was ready. But the UFC had no idea what was coming. October 11th, 2020. UFC Fight Night, Moraes vs. Sandhagen. Ilia's debut was supposed to be against Seungwoo Choi, but Choi pulled out and Youssef Zalal stepped in. Zalal was undefeated, young, hungry, and expected to give the Georgian newcomer serious problems. For 3 rounds, it was competitive. Ilia won, but by decision. No fireworks, no viral knockout. Just a solid professional performance that left most fans thinking, okay, he's decent. Let's see what he does next. What he did next was remind everyone why first impressions can be deceiving.
You fought Ilia in his UFC debut, right?
Bro,
Ilia Topuria.
a lot of people don't know this fucking story.
Yeah.
So that's when, like, during the COVID shit, right? My coach was already gone in the Fight Island. We had Brandon Royval fought, and God, I can't remember who else, but he had to be there. Oh, Jonathan Martinez. He was there for like 4 weeks already. So I had no coaches. So all I did was just grappling that whole camp. And so I was like, all right, I'm in Abu Dhabi. I land and I get a call. They're like, hey, your opponent pulled out. I said, what the fuck you mean my opponent pulled out? I'm fucking 7 days away from the fight. They were like, yeah, but we got you this guy from Spain. I said, okay, what's his record? Fucking 8-0 or 9-0 or some shit like that. All finishes, never seen a decision. And I said, fucking great, thank you. Like, this is awesome. I go in, I didn't even watch the kid. I just listened to the breakdowns they had. I didn't even fucking watch the kid. Bro, I go in and fought this guy, blah, blah, and I was like, all right, like, first round. They said he's a grappler, and I was like, okay. I thought he was gonna grab, like, you know, grapplers would go for the legs. I don't know this fucker was a Greco wrestling, but you should, that's the only highlight you see on YouTube, by the way, of him ever, even when he won the belt and everything, tossing my ass. Like, just full on body lock.
You let a man toss your ass?
Yeah, he did, bro. He did.
This guy let a man.
The game ain't the same, huh, Rampage?
It ain't hey, back in my day when I was fighting, I ain't never had no man toss my ass. I don't know what's going on with you, young.
You would allow that back then?
Hell no.
You would let it be tossed?
Hell no.
Toss and serve?
What the fuck, bro? Bro, you let another man toss your ass?
Listen, bro.
That ain't right, brother.
I know. Listen, I got in my feels too.
No means no.
I was, hey, but that's why I got a lot bigger now. But like that's bro.
Does he not know what we talking about?
No.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to pass the. I'm trying to pass the.
You might want to elaborate.
I'm trying to pass the conversation, bro. Chill.
December 5th, 2020, UFC on ESPN. Damon Jackson was supposed to be a step up in competition, a crafty veteran who'd tested several prospects and found them wanting. 2 minutes and 38 seconds into the first round, Jackson was unconscious.
Oh! Wow. The walk-off KO for Ilia Topuria.
But if that was his introduction, his next fight was his coming out party. July 10th, 2021, UFC 264. Ryan Hall, the submission specialist, the guy who'd made a career out of choking people unconscious, the Ultimate Fighter winner who was supposed to test Ilia's ground game. 4 minutes and 47 seconds into the first round, it was over. Not by submission, by knockout.
Ilia Topuria is a straight-up assassin.
Ilia had knocked out one of the most dangerous grapplers in the division with his hands. Another performance of the night bonus. Another statement made. But Ilia was just getting started.
And you predicted a first-round knockout before this fight. What in Ryan's game led you to believe that you could score this knockout? Or when you were in there, did everything play out exactly as you foresaw?
Y eso fue lo que me llevó a hacer la predicción.
Where I grew up, I've mentioned this in the past. Where I grew up, where I trained, we have 30 black belts. So when we do sparring, I'm prepared for this. So I had the openings because I've seen this before. As far as the title run, getting to the belt, we'll say in about 2 to 3 fights. Like I said before, I'm not looking behind me. I'm looking at the numbers above me in order to be able to go up towards the title.
March 19th, 2022, UFC Fight Night 204 in London. The hotel lobby becomes a battlefield. Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria get into an altercation in the Fighter Hotel lobby, sparking a bitter rivalry that will continue for years to come. Jai Herbert was supposed to be a showcase fight, a chance for Ilia to look good in front of European fans. Instead, Herbert nearly ended Ilia's undefeated streak in the first round with a head kick that dropped the Georgian hard. Most prospects would have been shaken. Most fighters would have played it safe for the rest of the fight. Ilia? He got angry. 1 minute and 7 seconds into the second round, Herbert was unconscious. Ilia had come back from being hurt to score one of the most spectacular knockouts in UFC history. Not just a comeback, a masterpiece. Performance of the night bonus number 3. The MMA world was officially on notice. December 10th, 2022, UFC 282 in Las Vegas. Bryce Mitchell.
I've already proven Ilia wrong. Ilia said I'm a coward. Does a coward show up prepared to die?
Has it been difficult being around Paddy backstage?
I haven't seen him, lad. I haven't seen him all week. The UFC have kept us apart. That was some chorizo, a Spanish sausage.
Oh, he's so different.
Your boy over there.
When you see me coming, he go to the back doors.
He's obsessed with me, lad. It's heavy.
Shut the fuck up.
He hasn't stopped tweeting about me all week, lad. He needs to sort his life out.
Fucking him out, please, loudly, shut up, man.
That little bum's irrelevant.
When you see me coming,
because you know when I saw him last time, he got a hand sanitizer bottle bounced off his foot. You known as hand sanitizer, boy. You little mongrel. Not German or Spanish like you're from.
I'm talking in English, and fuck you in English. Y que te follen en español.
You're a little mongrel.
Shut up. If not, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna crush your face right here.
Do it then, you little fart.
You have another question?
Do it. Do it then, you little pussy. What? Do it. Do it. Come on, do something then. Do something, stand up. What'll you do? You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing, you little fart. Go and sit back down. Sit back down, you little pussy.
Ilia's making a mistake focusing on Paddy when he had his youth standing across him in the octagon.
I don't care what he focuses on, brother. I really don't. All I know is I'm showing up to whoop ass.
The undefeated submission artist, who'd been tearing through the featherweight division, was riding a 15-fight winning streak. For a round and a half, it was competitive. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the second round, Mitchell was unconscious, not from a punch, from an arm triangle choke. Ilia had out-grappled the grappler, submitted the submission specialist, and done it in a way that left the entire MMA world speechless. Performance of the night bonus number 4. Ilia Topuria wasn't just undefeated anymore, he was unbeatable. June 24th, 2023. UFC on ABC, Emmett versus Topuria in Jacksonville. This was the test everyone had been waiting for. Josh Emmett, the former interim title challenger, the knockout artist, the guy who'd been fighting at the highest levels for years. For 25 minutes, Ilia put on a clinic. He outboxed the boxer. He out-wrestled the wrestler. He showed championship-level conditioning in his first 5-round fight. When the final bell rang, the scorecards weren't even close. 50-44, 50-42, 49-45. Another fight of the night bonus. But more importantly, Ilia had proven he was ready for the biggest stage of all. After the fight, he looked directly into the camera and made a prediction that seemed impossible. I will knock out Alexander Volkanovski.
If he wants to keep going, I'll show him what's up and I'll squash him too.
The MMA world laughed. Volkanovski was undefeated at featherweight.
Volkanovski is a tank. He is an absolute animal.
He dominated the division for 4 years.
Relentless, unbelievable drive, knockout power, ground and pound, and a championship reign that's second to none.
He was the pound-for-pound best fighter on the planet.
Still the best featherweight in the world.
And this kid from Spain thought he was going to knock him out? What the MMA world didn't understand was that Ilia Topuria had been making impossible things happen his entire life.
Got to start with Old Man Volk, I believe. Old Man Volk, a beautiful wardrobe choice there today. I guess curious, why was it important for you? Are you kind of leaning into the doubt, into the hate to wear that outfit today?
Man, just having a bit of fun with it, you know what I mean? So everyone appreciated the outfit, so I wanted to do it in person.
You know, most of your opponents in the past have, said that they could beat you, but they offered you a lot of respect. Ilia hasn't really offered you that respect.
Don't even compare me with his past opponents.
Well, what do you make of it? What do you make of that energy that he's bringing, that lack of respect? What do you make of that?
Shut the fuck up. Shut up, shut up.
I think this old man needs to teach this young fella a lesson. What do you reckon?
Hey, you see how he came dressed? You already know what's gonna happen. You just came ready for the retirement. Look how you look as an old man.
Get a good spanking, that's what's gonna happen, hey.
Shut the fuck up, you two, okay? He said he's gonna humble me. Stand up and do something, humble me. I'm here, right in front of you. Do some shit. Do something. The good thing, it's
you get ripped up, buddy.
Very educated person. I don't wanna slap.
You see me in an old man outfit, now he wants to be a hard fella. Hey, how about that?
Sit down.
Hey, I won't be looking like this Saturday night. Saturday night, I'm gonna be lean and mean. Coming for your head.
You're gonna see what's gonna happen on Saturday night. You're gonna see what's gonna happen on you. I'm gonna humble you. I'm gonna show you levels. I'm gonna warp the floor with you.
Hey, I'm gonna make this look easy.
I'm gonna fucking.
Hey, I'm gonna make this look easy.
You see that belt?
Yeah,
that's
I've
the
seen
last
it for
day
a while
you
now,
enjoy that
and
belt.
I'll keep seeing it.
That's the last days you are enjoying that belt.
The build-up was electric. Ilia spent fight week playing the perfect villain, stealing Volkanovski's belt at the press conference, promising to knock out a man who'd never been knocked out at featherweight. The crowd booed him mercilessly. The oddsmakers favored Volkanovski. The experts picked the champion. But Ilia had learned something during his years of displacement. Sometimes the only way to get what you want is to take it yourself. February 17th, 2024. Honda Center, Anaheim, UFC 298, the biggest fight in featherweight history. Alexander Volkanovski, the champion, the king, the man who'd never lost at 145 pounds, versus Ilia Topuria, the undefeated challenger, the refugee kid, the man who'd promised the impossible.
I have never been more hyped for a fight. Never.
Round 1 went to Volkanovski. Experience showing. Technical brilliance on display. The champion doing what champions do, controlling the pace, dictating the terms, making the challenger fight his fight. But round two belonged to destiny.
Second round, buddy, you ready? You ready? Strike!
Topuria's cutting the cage off, backing him up. Topuria is such a good boxer.
Oh, big right hand from Topuria.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good right hand left hook. Might be hurt, follows up again. Rips to the body. The power of Topuria.
Oh, he got him.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. That's it.
That'll do it, and new. The belt is headed to Spain.
Oh, my goodness.
Ilia Topuria, the featherweight champion of the world. Ilia Topuria, not surprised, and the 27-year-old Spaniard is on top of the mixed martial arts world. How about it?
3 minutes and 32 seconds into the second round, it happened. The perfect right hand. The shot that had been 27 years in the making. From refugee camps to championship gold, from Abkhazia to Anaheim, Alexander Volkanovski went down and didn't get up. The longest active UFC championship reign was over. A new king was crowned. Spain had its first UFC champion. Georgia had its first UFC champion, and the world had discovered that sometimes the most impossible predictions come true when they're made by someone who's already survived the impossible. But champions aren't defined by how they win the belt. They're defined by how they defend it. And 8 months later, Ilia would face the ultimate test. October 26, 2024, UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi. Max Holloway, the former champion, the legend, the man who'd never been knocked out in 33 professional fights. If anyone could expose Ilia as a one-hit wonder, if anyone could prove that the Volkanovski knockout was a fluke, it was Max Holloway. The volume striker, the pressure fighter, the man whose chin was made of titanium and whose heart was made of pure warrior spirit.
Topuria is very patient in his approach, doesn't rush. Whoa. Big right hand landed for Topuria there.
Oh, it's a big left hook.
Oh, and that's what we've learned about Max Holloway. It's hard to put him down.
For 2.5 rounds, it was everything the MMA world hoped it would be. Holloway bringing the pressure, landing shots, showing why he'd been champion. Ilia landing the harder shots but struggling with the pace. Then, 1 minute and 34 seconds into the third round, history was made. A right hand hurt Holloway. A left hook put him down. And for the first time in his career, Max Holloway was knocked unconscious. The arena exploded. The MMA world exploded. Ilia had done it again. Knocked out the unbeatable. Stopped the unstoppable. Proved that his power was real and his predictions were prophetic. Ilia was already thinking about something bigger, something unprecedented. Becoming a 2-division champion. June 28, 2025, UFC 317. The lightweight title was vacant after Islam Makhachev vacated to chase welterweight glory. Charles Oliveira, Du Bronx, the submission king, the fan favorite, the man with the most finishes in UFC history, stood between Ilia and immortality. This wasn't just about winning another belt. This was about joining one of the most exclusive clubs in combat sports history. Only 9 fighters before him had ever held UFC titles in 2 different weight classes simultaneously. For 2 minutes and 27 seconds, Oliveira tried everything. The jiu-jitsu, the pressure, the experience. But Ilia had learned something during his championship reign. He wasn't just a knockout artist anymore. He was a complete fighter who happened to have nuclear weapons in his hands. The left hook that dropped Oliveira was surgical, precise, devastating. When the referee stepped in, Ilia Topuria had become the 10th fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 divisions. Standing in the center of the octagon, holding 2 championship belts, Ilia thought about the journey that had brought him here. The ethnic cleansing his parents had survived, the wars they'd fled, the countries they'd called home, the impossibility of the path that had led to this moment. From Halle, Germany, to the top of the UFC, from refugee camp to UFC champ, From a kid who spoke 3 languages because his family kept running from war to a man who spoke the universal language of violence better than anyone on earth. The story of Ilia Topuria isn't just about fighting. It's about identity. It's about belonging. It's about proving that your circumstances don't define your destiny. At 28 years old,
He closes the show. The guy's a killer.
undefeated at 17-0,
Huge combination for the Spaniard.
holding titles in 2 different weight divisions,
This man is truly frightening.
Ilia Topuria has accomplished things that seemed impossible just a few years ago.
Still undefeated.
But if his life has taught us anything, it's that impossible is just another word for something that hasn't happened yet.
Unbelievable knockout.
Some fighters are born great. Others achieve greatness.
Oh, heavy.
And then there's Ilia Topuria, who had greatness thrust upon him by a world that tried to break him,
Ilia Topuria has arrived.
and instead forged him into something unbreakable. From displacement to destiny, from the impossible to the inevitable. This is the story of El Matador. And it's still being written.